the road again, Good morning. I am heading to Missouri. I'm actually already here. I'm in Kansas City currently, but I'm heading to my usual location. And I'm gonna do some scouting. It is now about deer season. Not quite, but it's getting there, and so I wanted to do a little bit of velvet scouting, see if I can find a buck that I can come back and try to hunt. The last few years, I really have not did my due diligence and came ahead of season, so I was kind of trying to find deer as I got here, which is fine. I know they're around. It's just a matter of like, I feel like I was just kind of wasting time instead of like coming down ahead of time. So I love to scout. I think it's a very important piece in hunting, especially public land. So with that being said, I decided I need to do it. Well, on my way. Alright, so I'm gonna check out a new spot. Never been. Just kind of go walk around, see what it looks like. I'm mostly going to be looking for like old sign as well as like fresh trails and potentially food sources. You know, obviously it's summertime, so they're still in velvet. Not going to be any rubs or probably not any major scrapes, so just want to check it out, and then later, closer to dark, I'm gonna go to the one field that I tend to hunt pretty often and see if any bucks hit the field. I think it should be beans this year, so yeah, ideally they'll be out. A pokeberry. As you can see, a lot of things seem to be eating it, but I would bet the deer are chewing that off. It's right on this path. This is kind of a good little transition. We got a river over here. This little finger corn. It's not necessarily somewhere that I would spend a lot of time once the corn's picked, but right now they for sure are using this pretty often. You can see this trail is maybe even a good cruising trail. This is really interesting. So we just had rain yesterday, but you can still tell there's been a lot of traffic right here in this corner. And every single corn plant is topped. So the deer are for sure hammering this pretty hard, which is kind of a bad sign, I think. That means there's not a lot of natural food. They're hitting the corn plant this early. I think there's another field in this back here, so I'm gonna work my way that way, see what's planted. But it's kind of this river system that snakes its way, so I'm just gonna follow that. This is probably a scrape at some point in the year. Some topography now versus when I first started. It was pretty flat. It's still pretty flat, but there's at least a little bit of some rolling going on, which is a good thing. Structure is always good. It looks like this backfield's also corn, so interesting. Just gonna keep following it. I like looking at corners of fields because a lot of times there's gonna be the most traffic and potentially rubs or a scrape spot in these corners. And if there's no sign, that's a good thing because, well, it's a good thing in the sense of like, you just keep moving. Like, don't waste your time there. Man, they're hammering this corn. It's pretty bad. Yeah, got some tracks. Definitely less tracks on this side than the other field, but I'm gonna keep going. There's just these grasses. I'm not a biologist, so I don't know what they're all named, but I kind of know what to look for. You can see that they've been essentially digging and browsing. And you can tell it's browsed because it's not just like a trail. It's just grasses are zigzagged where they've just been pushing them around and feeding on the pieces that they want. So that's a good thing. This would be a really good early season spot. Potentially because they're just in here milling around. Honestly, I think this is a really high transition spot because the cornfield's like 80 yards right over there. So if I had to guess, they'd be in here right before dark and then they'd be hitting the field right at dark. So this would be something to maybe keep an eye on. We're obviously gonna go in more, but it's a good sign. They're feeding here at least. Starting to go down in this bowl, kind of. I'm gonna eventually go that way, but there's some beds right in here. It's a low spot, shaded, nice and cool. I can see water here too. There's more water. I'm gonna work my way this way. Try to get on the back side of that. I don't know if I'll be able to. It's a smart spot for me. If I was a deer, I'd bed there. Funnels will drop down too. It's just pretty good. Whoa, that looks like a great bed. That was cool. It's like a marsh down there. That's where the water stops. They were right there. None of them were shooters, so I'm not going to be too worried about it, but heck yeah. I literally started filming because I just saw like this bowl and I was like, that looks like something is going to be down there. That was neat. I love when I have like a little intuition and then it's like, yes. It's a good spot for them to be. Really good spot. I'll take note of that. I don't think any of those would be big enough for me to shoot, but that was cool. It's hot. Sunbelt, if you want to sponsor me, because I literally survive off of these. In the season of deer hunting, to the point where I should probably be like malnourished because I just only eat this. Don't do that. Do as I say, not as I do. I don't hate this spot, but I haven't really seen anything that makes me think like, oh yeah, there's a big one here. Which there still could be, but it's tough because when it's this green and everything's just grown up everywhere, they can hide very easily. So it's like, you know, especially if they have food and water close by, they might not be moving more than a few yards in the grand scheme of things anyway. So if you don't find that exact spot, you might go past them. But I'm sure I did, because it has the recipe to be good, but I'm just not seeing like the sign. But there are deer here, obviously. I jumped some, so. Alright, let's go find some bean fields and glass them up. I think that's my best bet for seeing a good one. It's almost go time. little bugs out there. I mean, they're still coming out. They're not giants, but they're the biggest I've seen so far. Probably 2 or 3 years old. Oh my gosh, yeah. That was a really successful sit, and I'm feeling a lot more confident going into the season. Like I said, this is a spot that is like my old faithful. There's always something, but they're not always right there, and they don't always hit that field depending on what's planted. So I'm really, really glad it's beans this year. I was hoping that was the case, but sometimes they do a back-to-back year or something crazy. So yeah, now I'm excited. I'm feeling hopeful, and there's a lot of bucks to go around, to be honest. It almost might be difficult to shoot one with all those eyeballs. So with that being said, I'm feeling really, really good about the season. You know, this is just one of my favorite spots. I'm trying to think what else. So I've got a bunch of lease videos coming up too. I'm behind on everything. I've just been doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but I'm filming, I promise. I've got videos coming, and so this is going to be a really dynamite year, I hope. I'm starting in Kentucky for the giveaway hunt, so that'll be really awesome, and then I'm coming here to Missouri, so now I'm feeling good about that. And then Iowa, I have, you know, just a bunch of deer, so hopefully we can do round 2 like last year. That would be really awesome. And then also, guys, I drew Kansas, so I'm going to be going to Kansas as well. And so yeah, it's going to be a really jam-packed year. I'm so ready for it, and thank you guys for watching this video. I promise there's more coming, and it's going to be a dynamite year.